All right, people, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever is applicable as per your time zones. We were doing applications of derivatives, and in applications of derivatives, we had covered most of the part. We are almost done with covering 75% of the entire structure for IIT and as well as for different types of boards. Now what we are left with is let's say Rolle's theorem, and we will be covering LMBT as well. Okay, so these are a couple of theorems which are left, and we will be doing some problems, and we will be having a concept clearing thing out here as well. So please pay attention. Any questions, any queries, the rule remains the same. Just post your comments out there. We will try and cover up as much as we can. Okay, but we are heading towards the closure of this chapter, so attention at the minutest detail is what is required. Okay, and let's proceed ahead without wasting much of your and my valuable time. Okay, Rolle's theorem, what we have here is any real valued differentiable function. So understand what is written here. Any real valued, which means it should have a real value. Okay, differentiable function. It should be a function which is differentiable, that attains equal values at two distinct points. So there will be two distinct points. Let's say we have any graph. So at two distinct points we have seen that it might attain the same value, that is y will be equal to fx. Okay, two distinct points must have at least one stationary point, okay, wherein the tangent will be parallel to y-axis, parallel to x-axis. So understand it again. We have a function which is basically a differentiable function, and it is a real valued function. Any function which is differentiable and has real values, obviously if it has real values only, then it will be differentiable. Okay, and it attains two distinct points, and it attains equal values at two distinct points, that must have at least one stationary point. So there must be at least one stationary point wherein the tangent will be parallel to the y-axis. Now what happens here? It means that dy by dx here will become 0, which means that f dash x, if the function is, let's say, fx, so f dash x will become 0. So understand this again. We have a graph which is differentiable, and at differentiable function it attains equal values at two distinct points, and it must have at least one stationary point. That means this is basically what is stated. It must have one point wherein dy by dx at that point, or the tangent at that particular point, will become 0. Okay, or dy by dx. So what are the essential constituents of Rolle's theorem? It should be continuous in a b, that is closed interval ab. Okay, we have to be very careful about the closed and open intervals things, which we have covered in relations and functions. Okay, so it should be continuous in a and b. It should be differentiable in open interval ab. So this is basically what? This is closed interval, and this is basically open interval. This is open interval. Okay, and fa should be equal to fb. Fa should be equal to fb. Then, so these are three conditions. So see, fa should be equal to fb. It fulfills this condition, attains equal values at two distinct points. Okay, again it should be differentiable, it should be continuous. Okay, and it should be continuous in the open interval. So fa is at least one value c would exist. This is what Rolle's theorem states. If these conditions are fulfilled, then there will be at least one point in the entire open interval of AB such that f dash c will be equal to 0, which means if we happen to differentiate the function at that point, we will get a value 0, which means that if we happen to draw a tangent at that curve at that particular point, we are going to get the tangent parallel to the x-axis. So here dy by dx will be equal to 0. A very interesting phenomena about this is actually this theorem in writing was expressed by the great Indian mathematician Bhaskaran. Okay, and that was expressed way back in this era. Okay, and finally it was stated as a theorem by Rolle. Okay, so this is an Indian achievement which was there already for this function. Okay, so we have understood by Rolle's theorem, it means it should be continuous in the closed interval AB. It should be differentiable in the open interval AB, and there will be 2 points, that is fa should be equal to fb. If these conditions are fulfilled for a particular function, then in this open interval AB, amidst this open interval AB, there will be at least one point C wherein f dash c, that is differentiation of the function, will yield you a result of 0, or the tangent drawn at that point will be parallel to the x axis. That is all about Rolle's theorem. We will discuss its applications out here. Okay. Now, one thing that we need to remember is that Rolle's theorem is non-conversible, which means that converse of Rolle's theorem is not true. Not every theorem will have its converse as true. We know what is converse. If there is a theorem, it has an if part and it is a then part. So now if we do a converse, then the then part becomes if and the if part becomes then. Okay. So now we will go the other way around. So the other way around here is that there exists a function fx. There exists a function fx such that f dash c is equal to 0, which is basically what was Rolle's theorem proving. For at least one c in the open interval ab, then it's not necessary, because Rolle's theorem is non-converse. It is non-converse. Okay, then it is not necessary that fx is continuous in the closed interval ab, fx is differentiable in the open interval ab, and fa is equal to fb. So these are basically the conditions, or the if conditions. These were the if conditions for Rolle's theorem, and this was the then condition, and now it is reversed as if and then. So this will not be applicable. So let's take an example here for a clarity on the converse part. Okay, so let's say we have a function fx which is equal to x cube minus x square minus x plus 1, and it is basically in the open interval of minus 1 2. It's in the open interval of minus 1 2. Okay, so let's do this here. Okay, so we have to so now look at this. So we are going the other way around, converse. Okay, so let's converse means f dash c is equal to 0. Let's say I do f dash x will be how much? 3x square minus 2x minus x. This will be f dash x, this is going to be f dash x. Now if I put f dash, let's say 1, between minus 1 and 2 there is a point 1 in the open interval. In the open interval of minus 1 and 2, we will pick up a point 1 which lies very much between minus 1 and 2. Let's examine this here. So here we will have 3 to 1 square minus 2 into 1 minus 1. That gives you how much? 3 minus 2 minus 1, which is giving you 0. So this condition is fulfilled. This condition is fulfilled. fx is continuous on AB. Okay, fx is differentiable on AB. So this condition is fulfilled. Now let's go to the reverse part of Rolle's theorem. So is this function continuous on AB? Yes, it is. Every polynomial function is continuous. So this is correct. Let's say differentiable on AB. Yes, it is differentiable, very much differentiable. That's what we did. Okay, so it is differentiable on AB. It is continuous on the closed interval AB, and it is differentiable on the open interval AB. Now let's look at this, whether this condition matches. So let's say f here minus 1. This is basically the interval. F minus 1 will give you what? Minus 1 cube minus 1 square minus 1 plus 1. 1 minus, this will be 1. This will be plus 1 plus 1. What is going to give minus 1? So 2, and this will be gone. So this is basically 2. Let's take out f2. So what will be the value of 2? So 2 cube will give you 8 minus 2 square will give you 4 minus 2 plus 1. What is this value coming out to be? 4 minus 2, that is 2, 2 plus 1, that is 3. So obviously f minus 1 is not equal to f3. So look at this. This condition is not getting fulfilled. It might or it might not, but there is no theorem. Okay, so if the reverse condition of Rolle's theorem is fulfilled, which means that in a open or a closed interval of AB, okay, you have at least one value for a given function c such that f dash c is giving you 0, it doesn't mean that the function will be continuous on AB. Here it is. Okay, it doesn't mean necessarily that the condition will be differentiable on AB. Here is an exception, it is. And FA will be equal to FB. If we have seen this condition is not getting fulfilled. So for this example, this condition gets fulfilled, this condition gets fulfilled, but the last condition remains unfulfilled. Okay, so that is basically how Rolle's theorem is applied. So Rolle's theorem is correct, its converse is still not correct. Okay, now we will do certain problems to have a clarity on Rolle's theorem. Okay, so let's pick up this problem here. Fx is equal to this in 1 3. So we have to first see whether this is basically continuous. So this is a polynomial function, rather is, let's say fx, we can say that it is continuous in open interval 1 3, very much seen. Okay, now let's do an f dash x. F dash x will give you what? 3 plus, let's say this will become 2 by 3 and x n minus 1. So 2 by x minus 2, 2 by 3 minus 1, 2 by 3 minus 1, this is going to give you minus 1 by 3. Okay, minus 1 by 3. Okay, so this will become fx is equal to 3 plus 2 remains here, 3, x minus 2 1 by 3, x minus 2 1 by 3. Now look at this very carefully. This is the derivative. Okay, in the interval, if see in the interval is the closed interval is 1 3. So if I take the value 2, which very much comes in this interval, what will happen here? This will become infinite, because 2 minus 2 is 0. This will become infinite. So we can say that f dash x doesn't exist in 2 when x is equal to 2, for value of x is equal to 2, which very much lies in the interval 1 3. So it is non-differentiable in at least one of the values between 1 and 3. So this will be Rolle's theorem not applicable. Rolle's theorem is not applicable. First we have to check for the continuity, then we have to check for the differentiability, and the third part is fa is equal to fb. Okay, if these three conditions are fulfilled, only then we can say for sure that f dash c will be equal to 0. Okay, all right, so let's move on to the next question here. Fx is, so we have to basically understand whether Rolle's theorem will be applicable to all these questions here. Okay, so let's move on to this one here. Fx here, fx is equal to mod of x, and we have to find out whether this exists between the interval of minus 1 and 1. Exists between the interval of minus 1 and 1. Very clearly we can see that it is a continuous function. It is a continuous function. However, it is a non-differentiable function. Non-differentiable function, why? Because it is mod of x, so it's clearly a non-differentiable function, and hence Rolle's theorem is not applicable. Hence Rolle's theorem is not applicable in this range. Okay, let's move on to the next question here. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, we have this question here. Fx is equal to log x square plus ab in the numerator part. In the denominator part we have x into a plus b in the interval which is closed one, a to b, where a is greater than 0 and it is less than b. So let's examine this here. Okay, is this function continuous? Since we have here a is less than b. Okay, so a is less than b and we do not have a minus out here. Log of negative is not possible, but do we have any possibility of getting a negative here? No. Okay, so obviously what will happen, since a is less than b, this function is continuous in ab. Okay, let's check about the differentiability. It's a log function along with a polynomial function, so it's a log of a polynomial function is differentiable, log function is differentiable, so we can say that function is differentiable in AB. Function is differentiable in AB. Okay, now let's look out whether the third condition is fulfilled, which means whether fa is equal to fb. So let's calculate fa. Okay, let's calculate fa. Fa will be log, okay, x square. So in place of x square we will have a square plus ab. In place of x we will have a plus b. So what do we get here? Log of a square plus ab upon a square plus ab, which will give you a value of log 1, that is equal to 0. Okay, let's look at fb. Okay, so we have here log of b square, I am extremely sorry, b square plus ab upon a into b b into a plus b. So that will be how much? Log of b square plus ab upon b square plus ab, that is log of 1, that is equal to 0. Okay, log of 1, that is equal to 0. So where we have f a portion as equal to f b portion. Okay, so what we have here is all these three conditions are fulfilled. We can say that here Rolle's theorem is applicable. Rolle's theorem here for this function will be applicable. Okay, are we following this, people? I hope we are. If not, please raise your questions and doubts. Okay, if function fx is equal to x cube minus 6x square plus ax plus b defined on 1 3 satisfies Rolle's theorem. So it means that it is basically satisfying Rolle's theorem. For c is equal to this much, then find the values of a and b. Now for c, remember it is fulfilling for c, that means f dash c will be equal to 0, the third condition of Rolle's theorem. So since function fulfills Rolle's theorem, since function fulfills Rolle's theorem for c is equal to 2 under root 3 plus 1 upon under root 3. So here we will have, so let's calculate first f. So we have fx, that's equal to x cube minus 6x square plus ax plus b. So yeah, this f dash x will be equal to 3x square minus 6 2s are 12x plus a plus, this becomes 0, of course, this becomes 0. Okay, so 3x square minus 6 2s are 12x plus a, this will be f dash x, which means if we calculate f dash c, okay, f dash c, for x c has a value of 2 under root 3 plus 1. Oh my god, that is a huge value. F dash c, for c is equal to this much, so that will be f dash c will be equal to 3 to c square minus 12 c plus a, and this should be equal to 0, which means 3 into 2 under root 3 plus 1 by under root 3 square minus 12 into 2 under root 3 plus 1 by under root 3 plus a is equal to 0. Okay, so we can have a scope of getting the value of at least a here. Okay, so this will be how much? 3 into, this will be 3, this will be 2 under root 3, so this will be 4 into 3, 12 plus 1 plus 2 2s are 4 under root 3. Okay, 4 under root 3 minus 12 can be written as 3 into 4, so under root 3 gets cancelled, so this will be 4 under root 3, right? 3, so 12 is basically what? 4 into 3, and we have under root 3, so this will be 4 under root 3. 4 under root 3 into 2 under root 3 plus 1 plus a is equal to 0. Okay, let's look at this here. 12 plus 1, 13, that gives you 13 plus 4 under root 3 minus 4 2s are 8 and 3 gives you 24. So we have 8 into 3, that is 24, minus 4 under root 3 plus a is equal to 0. This gets cancelled. 13 plus minus 24, so this will be 4 3 1 2 and 1 minus 13 plus a is equal to 0. So a becomes 13. Now a becomes 13 here. Okay, now what about b? Okay, let's look at this. Okay, fa is equal to fb between the intervals 1 and 3. Okay, between the intervals 1 and 3 it is constant. So here we have a value of a. Let's look at the third condition here. So we have experienced the first condition from where we are getting the value of a. Now fa should be equal to fb. Okay, fa should be equal to fb. So here we have what? Fa will be equal to, or rather f1 should be equal to f of 3. F of 1 should be equal to f of 3. Now look at this. Here we will always get f1 will be equal to how much? 1 minus 6 plus a plus b, and a here is 13. Okay, So this will be basically 13. And f3, this will be equal to 27 minus 6 9s are 54 plus a, that is 3 to 3 9 plus b. Now these two are equal, so b and b get cancelled, so b any which ways will not have any. Now look at this, f1 or rather f dash, okay, so f dash x is independent, f dash x is independent of b. So this will be fulfilled for all conditions of b. F dash x, if you do an f dash x here, see fx is giving you how much? X cube minus 6x square plus ax plus b. Okay, and okay, and f dash x is giving you how much? 3x square minus 12x plus a. So any which ways we do not have a b out here. F dash x is independent. If f dash x is independent, then the third condition for f dash c is equal to 0 will always remain constant. So f dash x is independent of b. So specifically a will have a value of 13 and b can take any value which is real. Any value which is real. And b can take any real value out here. That will be the solution to the equation. Okay. Alright people, let's look at this problem here. Show that between any two roots e raised to minus x minus cos x is equal to 0, there exists at least one root of sin x minus e raised to x is equal to 0. So let's understand this here. Okay, so let's first write the function here as fx is equal to a raised to minus x minus cos x. Okay, now this function will have its own roots. Okay, now let's say we assume that alpha and beta are any two roots of the equation fx. Okay, fx, there can be many roots as well, so we can say that of the many roots which might be possible. Okay, so of the many roots of the equation which might be possible for e raised to minus x minus cos x, alpha and beta are two roots. If alpha and beta are two roots, then we can have here alpha and beta are two roots. There exists at least one root of sine. So let's say, so between, we can say that the function, we know that function fx is made up of what? The exponential function and cos x, which is a trigonometric function. So it is basically continuous, and since it is continuous, it is differentiable. Okay, so between these two roots, that is alpha and beta, there exists a value c such that f dash c should be equal to 0. Are we comprehending this? Let's say f alpha and beta are any two roots of the equation, so it means that, see, the equation is what? E minus x minus cos x is equal to 0 will be fulfilled if we take x as equal to alpha, and will also be fulfilled when we take x is equal to beta. It means that if alpha and beta are the roots of the equation, so this particular equation will be fulfilled if we take x to be alpha or if we take x to be beta, which is very much obvious because it's that's how the roots of the equation justify. Okay, so it means that the function basically will be fulfilled and there will be a term c such that f dash c will be equal to 0, which means what? Let's say fx is how much? Fx is e minus x and minus cos x. Now we happen to do an f dash x, so this will be minus ax minus x, okay, and minus cos x will give you sin x plus, so this is how much? Sin x minus e minus x. So this is basically f dash x. Now what we mean here is that f dash c is equal to 0, which means sin c minus e minus c raised to c, this will be equal to 0. Okay, so we can say that c is a root of the equation is a root of the equation what? Sin x minus e raised to minus x is equal to 0. C will definitely be the equation, okay, because this is fulfilling this relationship, okay. So if we have this equation written, then in this equation C will fulfill this condition. That's what was required to be proved here. Show that between any two roots of these, that is alpha and beta, are arbitrary assumption, okay, are arbitrary, there exists at least one root of this. So this is basically the one root of C basically is one root of equation what? Sin x minus e minus x, which basically falls such that f dash c will be equal to 0. There exists at least one root of this, okay. That's how the two equations are linked together. We will see many more applications of Rolle's theorem in bits and pieces. So let's pick this problem out here, okay. It says how many roots of the equation this, okay, this is basically x minus 1, x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3 plus x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 4, x minus 2, x minus 3, x minus 4, x minus 3, x minus 1 to x minus 4 is equal to 0 are positive. How many roots are basically positive, okay. So let we assume that let f(x) is equal to x minus 1 into x minus 2 into x minus 3. Let f(x) be equal to this. So here f dash x, let's say, is equal to 0, okay. Let f dash x, for some value f dash x is equal to 0. Now understand this, okay. We will have here x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3. We also have x minus 4. So we are not taking this entire function, we are just taking the x minus 1, x minus 2. Again we have x3, x minus 1. So these are repetitive things which are coming in and out, okay. So we have x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3, x minus 4 as the function. Now f dash x is equal to 0, okay. And so there, see this is basically a polynomial function. So obviously it will be continuous, and it will be differentiable as well. So it will be continuous and it will be differentiable as well. It's a polynomial function, okay. So in that case, what will happen if it is continuous function and if it is a differentiable function as well? If the function is continuous and if the function is differentiable, then there will be at least one value f dash c, so that this becomes 0, okay, one value. Now look at this interval. So this is what? X minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3 and x minus 4. So in each of these intervals, so let's say between 1 and 2, okay, then between 2 and 3, then between 3 and 4, okay, there must be one value such that f dash c becomes 0. Now this is basically what, if you look into it, this is the entire function is in sets of 3. So this is basically a cubic function, and since it's a cubic function wherein in each of these intervals you will have at least one value as per Rolle's theorem. In each of these intervals, open intervals 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, you will have at least one value which becomes f dash c is equal to 0, okay. So in that case, it's a cubic function. So it's a cubic function, then it will have basically one root here, one root here and one root here, and all of these are positive. So this will have 3 positive roots. One root will belong to the interval 1 and 2, the other root will belong to the interval 2 and 3, and the other root will belong to the interval 3 to 4. So 3 positive roots of the equation, 3 positive roots of the equation are possible. So there are 3 positive roots of the equation which are possible, okay. All right, let's pick up the next one here. So let's try this problem out, in which we have 2a plus 3b plus 6c is equal to 0. It's been given. A and b and c are some constants. Then prove that at least one root of the equation, that is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, lies in the interval 0 to 1. So let's look at it. Lies in the interval 0 to 1, okay. So at least one root. So here we have 2. So let's take this as, we go the other way around. Let's say we assume this to be, remember we are doing applications of derivatives out here, okay. So let's say f dash x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, okay, ax square plus bx plus c. So what will be the value of fx? Obviously the integration, differentiation, the reverse part is integration. So if we happen to integrate this will be integration of ax square dx plus bx dx plus c dx. Okay, so here it will be ax cube by 3 plus bx square by 2 plus cx. So fx will have a value of this. Okay, fx will have a value of this. Okay, fx will have a value of this. Okay, now if f dash x is this, fx is having a value of this. Now let's take f in the interval 0, f0. What will be its value? This will be a 0 cube, or let's say we can say that this entire portion becomes 0, this entire portion becomes 0. Okay, so what will be the value? Oh, we also have c. Okay, so cx ax square plus b plus 0, we will have there is some mistake. What I was making a mistake here is when we do an integration, and this is an example of definite integration or indefinite integration, so we will always have a constant. Let's say this is basically a constant. Okay, d here is a constant. We cannot write c, otherwise it will confuse with this c. So this is basically a constant. Okay, now f0 will give you what? This becomes 0, this becomes 0, this becomes 0, so you will have here a d. f1 will give you what? f1 will give you a by 3 plus b by 2 plus c into 1 plus d. So what do we have here? We will have here, this will become, let's say 6, 3 into 2, 2a plus 3b plus here it will be 6c. Okay, 6c, and we have kept d alone. Okay, this entire thing, look at this, 2a plus 3b plus 6c, this is equal to 0. This will be 0 by 6 plus d, that will be 0 plus d, that will be equal to d, that will be equal to d. Okay, so we have here this as d and this as d as well. So f0 and f1, so this is fulfilling all the conditions of Rolle's theorem. So if we take fx, so basically this entire condition is fulfilled. So Rolle's theorem is fulfilled. Rolle's theorem is fulfilled. So we will have at least one value alpha such that f dash alpha will be equal to 0. Okay, f dash alpha will be equal to 0 in the entire interval of 0 to 1. Okay, so there will be at least one root of the equation which will give you a 0 value. F dash alpha will become 0 because this is fulfilling Rolle's condition. What is Rolle's condition? Function should be continuous in the interval ab, which it is. Function should be differentiable in the interval ab, which it is, and fa should be equal to fb, which it is, because f0 is equal to f1. So obviously there will exist one value for which it will become 0. F dash c will become 0. So f dash alpha will become 0. Okay, so that is some value will be there in between them for which this will become 0. That's how it is fulfilled. Okay.